Good, beautiful morning, everyone. It is 6:45 in the morning, and I am currently driving down to Melbourne, Florida, for the second day of my roof build. It's a 2-hour drive for me, so you guys are going to get to see some of my 2-hour drive here. I want to say thank you to everyone who has been subscribing. I checked this morning, and I know to a lot of people it wouldn't be a big deal, but I'm at 96 subscribers, and rising every day, which is insane. I never would have thought that when I started my YouTube channel, last year or the year before, whenever that was, I never would have thought in a million years that I would even get to 50 subscribers, let alone almost 100, which is crazy. So I appreciate each and every one of you guys that are following, watching the videos, liking, commenting, things like that. I did see a comment on the video that I made last time. A guy put it up this morning, or maybe it was late last night. I don't know. I got home at I got up at 3 o'clock yesterday morning. And I left the house by 4 so that I could get to the build site by 6 because the guys were going to show up at 6:30. And I always like to be the first one there. But yeah, so I got home at 7:30. I ate my dinner, which is a salad. And then I watched a couple episodes of New Girl. So I watched all my way through Parks and Rec and The Office, and now I'm watching The New Girl. And I like it. I like it a lot. I think Jess is adorable. Zooey Deschanel, absolutely adorable. Love her to death. Incredibly talented actress and singer. But anyway, crashed at 9:30 last night. And woke up this morning at 6. Was able to shower and out the door, just fill it with gas. We are on our way to Melbourne, Florida, which is great. 2 whole hours on 95. Isn't that exciting? No, it's not. But I get to help this lady out. She needs a roof, and I'm incredibly blessed to be able to do that. But I want to say thank you again to all of you guys who have been subscribing, those who have been liking the videos and commenting. But that comment from this gentleman was, what are my favorite movie quotes that I use all the time? So, as I said in the first video, I am a huge Star Wars nerd. So, most of my references are Star Wars related. But I think my number one quote that I use more than anything is probably from Vader. I find your lack of faith disturbing. And then another one would be from Han Solo, never tell me the odds. And then I joke around a lot, so I'm on dating sites because I'm super single, not just regular single, I'm super single. And when it asks, on Bumble, it'll say, do you prefer mountains or the beach? And even though I live in Florida, I hate the beach. I am not a fan of the beach, never have been. But I usually tell people I've got Anakin Skywalker's disease. And they're like, what's that? And I'm like, it's where I hate sand. Because it's coarse, and it's rough, and it gets everywhere. But yeah, I think those are really my main ones. And probably from Lethal Weapon, from Murtaugh, when he says, I'm getting too old for this. And then puts another expletive word on the end of that. I'm not going to do that. I personally am working on not cussing. That's very important to me. Don't cuss, especially if you're a Christian. Kind of messes up your witness and stuff like that. So, I want to be a good representation of God's love and what He can offer, what He can do, and He gives me the ability to change myself through prayer, and that's awesome sauce. But yeah, so my favorite movies. Let's do some of that, because I watched a ton of movies growing up, still do. I love them. Most movies formed who I am today, because I have very wide array of films that I enjoy. I love old westerns. John Wayne was the man. Clint Eastwood, obviously. And then I love war movies. I love action, comedy. I love all of it. Like, Cary Grant movies were amazing back in the day. If you haven't seen a good Cary Grant movie, sit down, watch North by Northwest. It's an Alfred Hitchcock movie. Amazing. Amazing. You put Cary Grant, who was like the king of on-screen sarcasm for his time, on a movie written by Alfred Hitchcock, you're only going to pull out a winner. You're only going to have a winner there. But yeah, so that's part of my genre. I'm not super into horror, mainly because I don't get that scared. Most of the stuff I'm just like, it's a movie. That's not going to happen in real life. Some of the suspense movies, they can get me a little tense and a little agitated and a little in my feels. But that's because some of those actually can happen. Like the movie The Strangers. That junk was based on a true story. Straw Dogs, based on a true story. Which is nuts. The Purge, not a scary movie. However, that series of films, and I think they came out with a web series or a TV show or something, but it is possible. I have a feeling that soon we're going to get to a point where it may not be now, it may not be even 5 to 10 years in the future, but there may be a point where that happens. Definitely not under the current president. That would not happen. Or even, whoever they've got running next. There's no way that's going to go down. But I have a feeling that like 20, 25 years, maybe even 30 years down the line, yeah, that's going to happen. Which is frightening for my kids and my grandkids, if I ever have any. Because like I said, it is super single. But, favorite movies. Let's go back into that. Obviously the Star Wars movies. The saga. Last Jedi was awful. For those of you who loved The Last Jedi, I can't trust you as a person. It means you have very, very terrible taste in film. I love the How to Train Your Dragon movies. Absolutely love them. Hiccup's relationship with Toothless. I think the reason that I love it so much is because that relationship mirrors the relationship that I have with my dog. They're very much the best friend kind of mentality. Hanging out all the time. Just, it's good. It's good. It's just it's very good for me to watch stuff like that. Like I said, I love old John Wayne movies, Rio Lobo, El Dorado, The Searchers, The Cowboys, The Sons of Katie Elder is a phenomenal movie. If you've never seen that, I would pick it up. It's John Wayne, Dean Martin, the kid from Old Yeller, all grown up. Which is cool. And I forget the name of the guy that played the other brother. But Ed Asner's in there, plays the bad guy. Young Dennis Hopper's in there, which is really cool. Just a really good movie about 4 brothers trying to salvage their family name after their mom passes away. And their mom was like the best person in the world. But all of the kids were not. all of the boys were not the greatest people in the world. Very good movie, though. Very good movie. Let's see here. I love Lord of the Rings, as any self-respecting nerd should. I like The Hobbit, but it's not nearly as likable as Lord of the Rings. Let's see here. I love Star Trek. I'm an apologist for both sides of that. You know, there's a lot of people that are like, oh, you can only be Star Wars, or you can only be Star Trek. That's simply not the truth. The reason that I like both is because Star Wars is the fantasy world that I can lose myself in. You know what I mean? Like, I can throw that on and go, man, I wish I was a Jedi. Well, not really. It's more of, man, I wish I was a Sith. And Star Trek is really more of what I call plausible sci-fi, which means that it's something that I can actually see happening in the next, 150 years. I don't know if there are aliens out there, but it's something that if there were, and it was this kind of situation, absolutely it's going to happen. I don't know, but the reason I call it that, the reason I call it plausible sci-fi, is because it's something that you could see happening in the future. Obviously, Star Wars is not something you would see in the future, because it happened a long, long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away. It's already happened. It's history. It's history, folks. Yeah. Let's see, what else do I like? I'm a huge fan of Three Stooges. The Three Stooges. Not that movie that came out with Will Sasso and Sean Hayes. I mean, that was okay, but it was, you know, it had reminiscence of what the Three Stooges were. But I love the original Three Stooges. Larry Fine, Mo Howard, Curly Howard. Like, I love the Three Stooges. Not so much Shemp and Curly Joe, but definitely the original trio, for sure. To the point where my uncle, before he passed away when I was young, actually put me in his will to receive his entire Three Stooges collection, because he and I used to sit down and just crack up about that. I love those guys. Absolutely love them. And I've got the entire VHS collection now. I am the guy that I love movies so much that instead of going out and buying, the DVD versions of all my VHS tapes, I have a VCR, a functioning, mint condition VCR. And when I lived in North Carolina, I had a place to put up my 55-inch flat screen. So I basically would have a VCR hooked up to a 55-inch flat screen. Pretty exciting, right? Yeah, it is. But yeah, so that's the kind of guy that I am. It's the kind of stuff that I'm into. Like I said, I like older movies as well. Not just westerns, not just Hitchcock. You know, there's movies from the 80s. You know, along the lines of sci-fi, there's a movie called The Last Starfighter, which is a great movie, and love it a lot. If you get a chance, watch that movie. But yeah, guys, it looks like unedited. This is already 14-minute video. But I just kind of wanted to talk to you guys, say hi, talk to you about something. The gentleman requested that I talk about my favorite movies and the quotes that I use more than anything. So those quotes are, for those of you guys in summation that have watched all the way through the video, my three most used quotes are: I find your lack of faith disturbing. Never tell me the odds. And I'm getting too old for this ish. So, yeah, those are my quotes that I love more than anything. I love you guys. I'm going to catch you next time. And God